Okay, guys, you guys know exactly how this works. It's very simple, very straightforward. We are going live to answer questions for those who are basically seeking Social Security disability benefits. Let's get right into it. This includes SSI, supplemental security income, and Social Security disability insurance. Now, I donate my time for about 30 minutes on Mondays and Thursdays to answer questions for people basically can't find anybody to go ahead and answer it for them. Now, the reason we started doing this is because the reality is that we can't take calls during the regular 9 to 5 at the law firm for people who already have benefits, and have no intention of hiring the law firm to do stuff. So I created this hour to donate this time to go ahead and basically answer questions for people who want to know, answers about Social Security benefits. Now, there are some basic rules here that we go by. Number one, it's just general information. Number two, as we go through this process, which you kind of have to keep in mind, is that you have to use a fake name when you answer the phone, when you use the phone call method. We're going to be using this phone, which is the law firm's phone number, 407-279-1754. Again, 407-279-1754. We're doing a little bit differently tonight, where I'm going to go ahead and start with the questions and answers first, and then lead into basically the other videos, which are major breaking news, major emergency changes. Now, with that said, let's get the basics out of the way. I look a little bit bloated in the face. I'm still sorry. It's no, it's on this side. So basically, on this side, that's right. On this side over here, I'm still super swollen from where the yellow jackets and the nest in the ground basically bit me. Unfortunately, there were two bites, two big stings rather, to the neck. One of them directly into the artery area. So I'm still dealing with that. So my face is still super poofy, but I'm no longer red, which is amazing. Now, what are the rules? No story mode. Use a fake name throughout the process. Only general information. You get about 5 to 7 minutes per call. We're only doing this for about 30 minutes. That's how it works. Okay. Remember, have your legal question ready right up front. We're going to go ahead and start with the basic first question. Let's get the speaker on. All right. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I am on disability, and I have a small retirement through the state that I was wondering if I could collect it without affecting my disability.
So that super depends. And I always get in trouble with these questions because they're always super broad. But basically, you have to watch out for any windfall provisions or provisions that basically limit your ability to grab both benefits, both your retirement and retirement through that other pension program. So it depends. And the only safe way for me to actually answer this is to look at the documentation of what you originally signed when you actually began paying into and signing up for that other pension. But I've gotten into a lot of trouble with this question because, especially in the tri-state area or really highly evolved union areas where there's just like the union controls everything, those types of specialty programs that they paid into, whether it's county, state, police, sheriff, firefighter, bottom line is it really depends on what you originally signed up with. So what I would say is this: you've got to go get the original documentation based off of what it is so that it tells us what the category of it is and whether or not, number one, it will reduce potentially any retirement or SSDI benefits, if there's any windfall provisions that will potentially occur, and how it's categorized, if it's categorized as a traditional income, as an investment income, or if it's not an income at all, and basically how it's viewed as a resource as it builds. So those are the main things you got to watch out for with those.
Okay, so I would need to get the original documentation of when I started putting in the pension fund.
Exactly. Super important. Nobody does that. It's, you want to know the pool rules of basically what you're getting paid, that you paid into all that time. So crucial, go get that, because that's going to be your defining factor for whether or not there's any limitations or restrictions that pull away from your Social Security benefits. However, the bill that is almost certainly going to get passed through is the windfall provision killer, which basically means it legally removes essentially the restriction on people where it was reducing their retirement benefits. So in the future, just to be clear on this thing, the one major thing that's likely to bite you in the butt is actually likely to be removed, because Congress is doing anything and everything that they can to increase the amount of money that government workers receive by reducing any restrictions that are put on them. And the reason why is government workers, as a result of, let's just call it like it is, poor management with, fuel, petrodollar, farmers, etc., over the past couple of years, has resulted in everything being extremely expensive. The tariffs are really way too high, but that's a whole other story. But bottom line is, as a result of that, government workers, they usually didn't earn enough to go ahead and continue to want to go ahead and work in that field unless they were high enough up. So they're trying to find any way to get and keep government workers going forward, which means getting rid of any and all restrictions or little things that chip away at the edges of the benefit programs that they offer. So it is extremely likely that the one rule that might bite you in the butt is actually going to be voted on over the next 2 months as a part of like a spectacle for the election, which will dictate essentially the number one thing that might reduce your benefits.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it, and I love your show. You do an amazing job.
Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Perfect. So, and I always get in trouble with those questions because I just never know to what degree that actual benefit is, because, some benefits are put as like an insurance thing. Some are a pension through the county. Some are all kinds of things. Let's get the next call real quick. Here we go. All righty. So let's get you on speaker real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, good evening, Walter. A few nights ago, you had a caller that stated that he got kicked off of SSDI because he had an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, I had an LLC that was dissolved by the state due to non-payment. I wasn't using it, and I wasn't making any money.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened before I was approved for SSDI.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance that will come back and bite me?
The only way it'll come back and bite you is if there's back pay or retroactive benefits that were months that existed while that company existed, where the IRS will step in and say, hey, you actually had earnings. These people, claim that you had more earnings. So how many years are we talking about going back, though? I mean, we're talking about 10 years, 15 years? We're talking about 2 years?
Well, about 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years
I've
ago.
been waiting to be approved for 3 years. So right before, like a year before it was approved,
okay,
my LLC was dissolved because I didn't pay the yearly whatever. I wasn't using it, so
did you report?
I just let it go.
Did you report any income via tax forms to the IRS on any of the years that you received back pay and or retroactive benefits?
Okay.
So like any of the back pay months where you got, when they said you were disabled from this day going forward, walk me through that. So considering that, was your company earning money in any of those months in which you were claimed to be and found disabled by the SSA?
Earning money, no, because I stopped earning money when the pandemic started in 2019, and that's when I got sick.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so all right, and you were found disabled back to what month, what year?
I believe it was March of 2019.
March of 2019. Okay, so bottom line is this. There's some overlap there, but I mean, remember, it's only going to be a couple of months pertaining to either back pay or retroactive benefits. So if they haven't brought it up and nobody is snitching on you for any income you might have earned, quasi side under the table that's still related to actions, under the company label, I would say, I mean, if we're talking 2019, that's like 5 years ago at this point. I would say you're probably going to be fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks a lot for your help.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
All right. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. Pinch Runner said, what about passive investment LLCs? They are under a different category for earnings, but again, they do open the opportunity for a much more troublesome picture because they can dictate what type of income you are actually receiving and what type of work you're doing and how much it's worth. So, all right, next caller, let's get the speaker on real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
The question I got, so can you get VA benefits, like I'm 100% PNT, plus my retirement, and can I get Social Security benefits on top of that?
So retirement is Social Security benefits, but do you mean like retirement and disability?
Yeah, like I'm getting retirement from the military.
Mhm.
I'm also getting 100% VA.
Mhm.
And I was told to file for SSDI. Can I get that too, or?
Yeah. What's your current age though?
I'm 48.
All right. So you're going to file for SSDI benefits, kind of my wheelhouse, and basically fight to go ahead and, get your full SSDI. Now, when did you stop working though?
2 years ago.
All right. So
Well,
you're
about a year and a half.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're good. You still have a good DLI, date last insured. So you're going to go ahead and file and try to get onto SSDI benefits. You'll sit on SSDI benefits until you reach essentially full retirement at 67, and then you'll cross over from SSDI over to retirement. During that time, you'll receive all of your traditional VA, compensation-based benefits. For those who are watching who don't know, 100% P&T, permanent total, falls under the VA compensation. And then he also mentioned also retirement option. But bottom line is, for VA guys, usually what they end up with is like, 4-ish K through, most of their VA details. Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower, but he's 100% P&T, so like a little higher. And then on top, oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, go
I didn't
ahead.
say nothing.
Okay.
I'm listening to you.
And then, yeah.
I'll go ahead and hang up and listen to you explain everything. Appreciate it. Love your show. I do have one more question. Has nothing to do with me.
Sure.
I have a son. Well, my grandson is he's got autism.
Okay.
And is that something he should file for my grandson? I mean, my son makes real good money. I just don't know how that works. Does he need to file for it? Because I know when he gets older, he's not going to be able to, I guess, be productive. I guess if that makes any sense.
Do you have custody of the child?
No, he does. I'm just asking a question because trying to push him in whether he needs to file for him or not. I just don't know if that works. Like I said, my son makes real good money. I don't know if that comes into the effect. I just want him in the system. That way, if something happens to my son or something or anything, that he's kind of protected. I don't know how that works.
So, and I'm not saying that I'm recommending this, because remember when we do these live shows, I have to disclaimer here. I can tell you what other people have done, but I have seen other people transition custody of the child to the grandparent. And then from there, the grandparent being disabled can go ahead and seek what are called disabled adult child benefits once they reach 18, or auxiliary benefits before that. So I've seen that happen. But again, if he's in a loving, family, mother, fathers, everything's good to go, yada, yada, then, most would not do that. But I have seen that. And it usually occurs where the grandparents and their kids are users and abusers. So the grandkids basically get swapped with grandparents. Grandparents are retired, and the kids seek some sort of benefits therein if they are disabled themselves. But again, I am not recommending all of those maneuvers. I'm just saying that's what people do.
Oh, I understand. I wouldn't do that. I was just making sure that he'll be protected. I know when he gets 18, is that when he will file for it, or when somebody will file for him?
So before 18, there's auxiliary benefits and SSI benefits, supplemental security income. Then once he hits 18, he can still use the SSI benefits plus disabled adult child benefits, which is where it taps into the parent's Title II benefits if the parent has become disabled, retired, or terminal, has passed away. Or basically after that point, if the child has any work on their record, they can go ahead and access SSDI benefits and ride that until full retirement. But they want to get an attachment of DACs, which are, of course, disabled adult child benefits, because that boosts how much money they're going to be getting, because it says, hey, they're not going to be able to work for the rest of their life. 18 to 22, they've proved that they're disabled. So now they give them a little bit extra money based off of their parents' paid in Title II benefits.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers everything. I sure appreciate it, boss. Love you.
Absolutely. Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. We're going to take the next caller. So let's see what we got here. Just checking if there are any questions in the chat section before we take the next call. Is the call in live right now? Yeah, we're live like right now. Here's the next one. Here we go. Okay, we're going to put on speaker. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hello, Walter. This is Elvis Presley here.
Very nice. Very
You're
nice.
doing a great job. I
Thank
just had
you.
a legal question for you, please.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I got rheumatoid arthritis,
Mhm.
and I've had it for a couple of years now.
Mhm.
It's really affected my hands and my shoulder, and I'm wondering if I would qualify for disability insurance.
Okay, gotcha. So things that they usually look for rheumatoid arthritis are limitations with basically lifting, pushing, pulling, fine manipulative detail with your fingers, like typing, so fine fingering, stuff like that, and then general grasping, which is where you're like grabbing a coffee mug, stuff like that. They look at, what's going on with your actual rotation movements. So like, they look at the degrees of movement. Could you go ahead and lift your arms both, bilaterally above your head? They look at basically your capacity to go ahead and walk, capacity to go ahead and stand for extended periods. All of this depends on the severity by which you have these things. Of course, boosting of age always helps. So above 50, 55, 60, each 5-year group adds the likelihood of being found disabled. So what's your current age?
56 years old.
Okay, cool. So you're in the middle of the three options. So that's a good spot to be. Your main shot is going to be trying to be found under a grid out. What was the within the past 5 years most skilled job that you had?
I'm currently a bellman at a hotel and have been that for the last 5 years.
Okay, gotcha. What's your highest level of education that you completed?
I did get a bachelor's degree.
Okay, cool. So bottom line is you're going to be shooting for a grid out. You're going to be showing that there's no transferable skills. You're going to be showing no direct entry into the work environment, which means you're not doing any recent academia to go ahead and put you into a different job or a different field. And once your earnings are falling under the $1,550 per month, again under $1,550, then you're looking pretty for applying for and trying to be found disabled.
And do I need to be not working in order to apply for disability, or how does that work?
You just have to be basically earning under SGA, which is the 1550, so $1,550. You still can be working, but what they're going to be looking for are terminations where you get a job and then you get fired every 3 months or 4 months, over and over.
Mm-hmm. Okay, man, thank you very much, Walter. You do a great job, buddy. Thank
Absolutely. Thank you so much, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and go to the next caller real quick. Let's see who else is calling in. And let me see if there's any questions in here. Is the call on live right now? Yep. Go ahead and call right now. Let's see. Hoping for a good 10 more year. We got the next call. Let's go ahead and pull this one up real quick. We're putting it on the speakerphone. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, my legal question is I'm trying to find an attorney that can help me appeal an onset date.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for disability 2 years ago, got approved for SSI, denied for SSDI. 2 weeks later, I questioned that. They went back into the system, realized there was an error made, and then did a new app on the SSDI, approved me, and shut down the SSI. But my onset date, they have March of 2024, and I really stopped working and became disabled 2019.
So what you're trying to say is they made a screw up. You're trying to appeal it, reattach, and basically get more back pay.
Yes.
Okay. So.
But they did warn me. I'm sorry. They did warn me that if I appeal it, they have to go back through the system again. They both do, SSI, SSDI, and it can be denied, and I lose what I already have. And by them making an error the first time, I'm really nervous that can happen.
Mm-hmm. They hold unfortunate strength and power over this particular situation that you have to be incredibly, incredibly careful with. And the reason why is that at the end of the day, if you end up in a spot where, to be fair, you don't, go ahead and get to keep your benefits because they decide that they gave them to you in error, it becomes a much greater battle, a massive, massive battle. So I guess my question to you with this whole situation is, all right, what's your current age?
60.
Okay, so you're in a really good spot. They're unlikely to go ahead and stop grid out vocational allowance or listing level criteria that you had. So, all right. And see, here's what's going to potentially be the tricky part. You're going back to an old claim, and that attorney is still, tapped into that old claim with that filing, and you're trying to resuscitate it and use what's called the 404.911 60-day extension statute. So the kicker you're going to run into is that no attorney wants to take it unless that other attorney withdraws from the prior SSDI filing. So have they already withdrawn? Yeah.
I did it myself.
But they have to do it. Like, they have to withdraw for representation and fees on the prior SSDI filing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it just, you know what I mean? It's not going to work. So, I guess my question to you is, okay, so they haven't done that. So the next thing, you know what I mean, that you're going to look into is basically getting that done. Because if that prior law firm isn't willing to work on the prior claim, which is really kind of, shitty, but if they're not willing to do that, then, you've got a quasi issue. So my inherent point with this is they got to do that before anybody's going to even touch this thing.
But I never used an attorney. I did it all myself.
You're certain that there was no attorney attached to the prior claims?
No, I had an attorney in the beginning, but the attorney, they're located everywhere, and they did nothing. So I ended my relationship with them and have a letter that, they sent it to Social Security too. So, no, they are completely out of my case. And it was just approved 2 weeks ago, my SSDI.
Do you have a letter that says withdraw for representation and fees?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Well, send that to me tomorrow. Let me check it out, and then we'll kind of go from there. But, it's one of those things where the SSI back pay is already paid out. So it's always difficult to get an attorney when SSI back pay is already paid out, and the only thing left on top is the SSDI. But if this is something where I can write a brief, clean it up, get the thing submitted, and, basically request detail outcome, then yeah, I mean, we can always roll with that.
Okay, and I didn't get any back pay. It was when the SSI, when they were approving the second part, that was not the medical part.
Mm-hmm.
And that person actually, I questioned, how am I approved for SSI but not SSDI when I worked my entire life and paid into the system?
Mm-hmm.
And she actually kind of looked at it and she said, yeah, you're right. No, they shouldn't have denied you. So they set me up a meeting the next week, which was last week. And she did a new application and said, we won't put it through the whole process. I'm just approving it. And now I'm getting a letter just stating how much I'll get per month. And that starts next month.
If they're just approving it, though, are they attaching it to the original filing of the SSA timeline? Like, is your protective filing date for the SSDI attached to the protective filing date of the original SSI SSDI?
Yes, that they did. I mean, like my onset date or the date I actually filed the application.
All right, let's do this because I just want to make sure. Because yeah, so what you're going to do is you are going to contact the SSA tomorrow and ask them if your SSDI claim attaches the current one, the new one, to the original SSI SSDI protective filing date.
Yes, it does.
Just call me and make sure, and then call me, and then we'll kind of talk about what happens next.
Okay, and how do I reach you?
And you just call this phone number tomorrow, 9 to 5 gig. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and go to the next caller. Let's see what we got rolling on. Let's see. Tons of stuff in here. That's awesome. Tons of people talking, which is amazing. Let me see if we can get the next caller to call in. We're going to be doing a total of maybe one more call, maybe two more. Depends on how long the next caller is. Let's see what we got right now. We're putting on speakerphone. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to know if I have a mental health disability and I've been approved. The thing is that my doctor approved me saying that I had to have electric shock therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm starting to reconsider that, and I'm thinking, because I did have a very bad allergic reaction to one of my medicines. Could they take me off disability because I'm not going to go through with the electric shock therapy?
So here's how you get around that.
I'm more willing to try something different.
Yeah, so here's how you get around that. What you're going to do is you're going to go basically to essentially, another doctor and get a letter from the other doctor specifying why the the shock therapy would not be a good deal for you, the issues you would have, problems you're likely to run into, etc. And then you're going to use that to go ahead
I've already started doing, I have numerous doctors I have to see in order to have the electric shock therapy. So any one of those could say that on behalf of me.
Sure.
I'm not sure because I have some breathing problems and things like that. But I still think I should go through that process. But even so, it's kind of extreme. And the thing is there's just some other options. But I've been allergic to other psych meds. I mean, physically allergic. So they're thinking that this was the best option for me. It's just scary and seems kind of drastic, But I'm just wondering, my family's wondering, do I really have to do this? Even if a doctor doesn't say it would be detrimental to me, I'm supposed to go through with it, even though I don't know what it's going to do to me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So, I mean, and I get where you're coming from with this whole thing. You're like, hey, how bad is this going to be? How's it going to affect me? What should I expect? What's it going to do when it's throwing off my other medications? Yeah.
A bad fall not too long ago, where my memory is very, very bad already. Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, it could be detrimental to me, and they can't promise me that it won't. And is that the question I should ask one of my doctors?
Well, you want to ask the doctor to write a letter recommending or not recommending essentially this situation. So that's what you're really asking.
A memory doctor. I have a memory doctor appointment. So that's what I want to do is I want to have a doctor say that this would not be the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have what would be best for me. Okay, because it's in the courts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Okay, thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. All right, so we're going to take one more caller, and then I'm going to take like a 10-minute break, and then we'll switch over basically to the big video of the night. There's two big videos, actually, which is one is what the Social Security Commissioner is doing about the money requested from the senators. And then basically the next one is the huge breaking news about all the changes with SSI that are officially coming into effect. So final call of the night. Here we go. All righty. Let's see. And put it on speaker. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi.
Howdy.
A few months ago, you talked about a new law that was supposed to be going into effect at the end of this month about SSI not being able to use shelter or food assistance in determining SSI eligibility.
That's the third video of tonight. So not the video coming directly after this, but the video after that. That's literally the video we're going to be doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I ask the rest of my question, or should I just wait for that video?
I mean, you can ask it. I may say wait for that video because the thing is this, like I'm going to be going through the exact emergency message and then examples provided by the emergency message. So I would say this, ask me the question, and then what I'll probably do is just incorporate your question and answer into that video.
Okay. All right. Well, I've talked to many agents, and some of them say, yes, you should be eligible, and some say that, no. My actual worker also said no, that I wasn't eligible for it, but they're counting shelter and food assistance that shouldn't be there. They have $331,
and I get $255 in food stamps, so I know it's not that. And they said I was $18 short or making $18 too much to be able to qualify for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right. So what you're really asking me is, you're getting hit with the 1/3 reduction rule in kind support and maintenance. So you're only getting 600 and something instead of the 943. And you basically want to know how the hell you get around that so you get the full 943.
Yes.
Cool.
They said I can only make 963 on the SSDI, and I'm receiving 991. They said that's too much. Is that the case too?
Well, so you're already over the 943, which means you're SSDI only. So in that instance, you're not going to get attachment of SSI. If you're not getting an attachment of SSI, then, you know, in-kind support maintenance rule doesn't matter, you know.
So then I just absolutely don't qualify no matter what, even if the shelter food assistance isn't there.
So just to kind of clarify, if you are over the 943 with your SSDI, they're not going to tap you into SSI. So, you know, just to kind of clarify with this thing, the problem you want an answer to is not the question you should be asking. The question you should be asking is, can you get SSI? If the answer is no, in this case, no, then the bottom line is none of that in-kind support, maintenance, Medicaid stuff is relevant. So you're stuck with SSDI. However, you can work with them to opt into SSI only, but that would be a bad move because, man, you know, you're going to need more Medicare down the line, and that's just, it's just smarter to stick with that option.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Finally got a straight answer because I could never get one from those agents.
Oh, do you mean like the field office people?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, they're not really trained on detailed stuff like that. I mean, you could get a higher up person that would have some ability to go ahead, you know, go into that. But like that's the thing. Like there are three levels of essentially field office individuals when it comes to their training. So there's the intro people who have just been trained within the past 2 years, and they tend to be they don't know enough to know enough. And then you get the people that are in like the 2 to 10 year period. Those tend to be the more egotistical about, well, I know how it is. This is how it is. This is what it is. Blah, 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 blah. And they haven't really been kicked in the teeth by enough other outside SSA people to realize that they only know the little field office stuff. They don't know any of the higher stuff at all, where every problem ends up going. So, well, for the most part. So, and then you get the people that are 10 plus years, and they know, like, they don't understand what's going on at the hearing level, appeals council, federal district circuit, Supreme Court, case consolidations. They don't know any of that stuff. So they know when to duck when a tough question comes in that wasn't part of the training. So there's those three levels. If you're getting somebody who's like, oh, I'm not really sure, they're in their first 2 years. If you get someone from 2 to 10 years, a little bit of ego, that's usually the 2 to 10 year person. If you're getting somebody about 10 years plus, they're going to say to you, normally we see it go like this, but I don't know how it's going to work at a higher level.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. You know?
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, excellent, good sir. You have a wonderful night. I'm going to take a mini break and get ready for the next video, and I will catch you guys all a little bit later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So what I'm going to do is, please remember to like and subscribe. If I helped you during this video in any way, please go to Google and type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Type that in and leave some review stars there. I always love waking up and seeing those 5 stars, but you know, you can leave whatever you want. But bottom line is this. Also, please remember Mondays and Thursdays, I go live to answer questions for free. With that said, I'm going to be doing 2 videos after this. The next one is specific live statements from the commissioner of the SSA that were made to Congress, and then also an article he recently did. That's Shadow in the background sneezing. And then also the next video after that are all the changes that are happening with SSI that are officially coming into effect today, like right now. Technically 9/23, now it's 9/24, but today. So that's the breaking news one at the very end. I will catch you all at the next couple of videos. Please remember, if you want a private session to ask me some ridiculously difficult questions, run hearing questions, figure out what your transition from work to no work, or you're getting, you know, basically investigated by the CDI units, There's a mini contract below for a private hour. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will see you in about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll put the link in the chat section for the next video. That way you can just click and be ready to roll. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night. We'll go from there. Thanks so much. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.